and welcome to another Teacher's Corner. I'm Teacher Kirby, and today we're going over the Breen Absolute Zero set. As you can see, I have 4 pieces put onto my shield, and I do have the Singularity Core also in my inventory. So you get these pieces by playing. You have to be at least level 45, and you get them, here it is, by playing the missions. Here we go. Cold Call, Cold Case, and Cold Storage. That will give you the deflector, impulse engine, and shield. In order to get the warp core or singularity core, depending on whether or not you are Romulan, of course, that is obtained by going to the reputation, to the winter store. So you get there by going reputation, events, click on store, and this is available year round as long as you have unlocked the store. And you can see that even though this is recorded on November 1st, I still have full access to be able to purchase both, because as you can see I have quite a few winter commodities here. Alright, now, so let's get back to there we go. Alright, so let's talk first about the warp core versus the singularity core. So this is cryoplasma infused warp core. So the warp core gives you plus 100 increase to base regeneration rate of all power levels. So what that means is your power will come back a little faster, similar to power transfer rate. This is regeneration rate, basically same thing. Now if you look at the singularity core, it's something different. It has plus 15% increase to base resistance rate of all power levels. This means you're not as likely to lose power if you're being drained, etc., etc. Both have a maximum warp factor of 10. Now the Singularity Core has plus 17.5 Starship Exotic Particle Generator. This means that your science abilities, your science damage dealing abilities like Gravity Well, Feedback Pulse, things like that will work a little better. We'll do a little more damage because of this. Now if you notice here on the warp core, you get 17.5 Starship Electroplasma System Flow. This improves your power transfer rate, meaning power will go from one subsystem to another faster. Also means that you will regain power from firing weapons faster. Okay, both get 0.2 slipstream speed bonus. The Singularity Core also gets improved plasma shockwave. This is one of your singularity abilities. It gives you a 20% chance to disable one subsystem for 8.1 seconds when you use the plasma shockwave. Okay, whereas the warp core gives you plus 7.5% of your auxiliary power to your shield power as bonus power. Both cores have the Breen weapons capacitor, which repairs offline weapon subsystems and gives you plus 40 weapon power setting for 20 seconds while taking 15 each from your shield, engine, and auxiliary power. And this is a clickable that has a 2-minute recharge. Alright, now that being said, got through all of that. That was a mouthful. Alright, so now we have the normal 3-piece that you get from running the missions that you have to be at least level 45 to do. So we have the polarized parabolic deflector, and this gives a resistance to slow. So things that are meant to slow you down, this gives you slight resistance. It also gives you plus 32.5 Starship control expertise. That's not bad if you're using something like a Gravity Well that requires control. This means your Gravity Well will pull a little harder. for example, or tractor beams, things like that. Tractor beam repulsors as well. Okay, plus it gives 24.4 starship drain expertise, meaning it will help you drain things, drain power from your enemy to you. This means your plasmonic leech will work a little better. This means any ability you put out that drains will work a little better. Okay, and it gives you plus 16.2 starship perception, improves the detection of close ships, lets you see your enemies a little farther out. Really nothing to write home about. I could take that or leave it on any of my ships. Alright, and then we have the super cooled combat impulse engines, because they're super cool. Not really, but they could be super cool. Alright, 13.3 flight speed, efficient at low power levels, 0.17 flight turn rate, thrusters 25% speed when engines are disabled, and plus 6 engine power setting. Just straight up plus 6. Not terrible. Okay. And then let's skip over the warp core since we already went over that. Alright. The shield, 6,429.4 maximum shield capacity. Not the best we've seen, but it is a resilient shield. I do like resilient shields better because they absorb 5% of the energy and they let 5% bleed through rather than letting 10% bleed through as other shields do. Plus these have a decent regen rate of 279.5 shield regeneration every 6 seconds. And they do reduce polaron damage. Most shields that we see reduce all damage, but this one specifies a specific energy type. So it reduces polaron damage to shields by 20%. So if you're not doing, or if you're not fighting an enemy that uses polaron, then you're SOL on reducing damage to shield. Okay. Alright, so that's the basic 3 pieces. Okay. Now let's take a look at the set bonuses. Alright, so here we go. Now the set bonuses, 2-piece set bonus, 35.5 transphasic projectile damage. That makes sense. The Breen use a lot of transphasic. You get two big transphasic weapons from the Breen arc, so that kind of makes sense. So if you're using either of those weapons, you're going to get a pretty good boost from the 2-piece set. And then plus 35.5 Starship Electroplasma System flow. So this again affects your power transfer rate. Not bad. EPS is DPS. You might have heard that somewhere. Okay. And so these are actually pretty good benefits. Okay. Now the 3-piece is quite interesting. The 3-piece is the Breen Energy Siphon. So this gives you a power drain clickable ability. Mine's right down here in my A slot. You'll see me going over it. In fact, yeah, see mine's right down here, Breen Energy Siphon. Okay. And so let's take a look at that. Alright. So it has a 10-kilometer range, takes half a second to activate, has a 1-minute 20-second recharge. It is basically the same as the Bridge Officer ability Energy Siphon. The difference is that if you're using it on a Breen ship, it will be 25% more effective than it is normally. I believe this matches, I'll have to check. I believe this matches an Energy Siphon 1. Okay. In fact, let me double check that. Because we can look, okay, science, there we go. There's a science, let's look at skills. And okay, there's Energy Siphon 3. And that's 36. So Energy Siphon 2 Okay, so it matches energy siphon 2. Because if you look, 29.2 and 29.2. Okay? So it's the same as having an energy siphon 2 on your status. There we go. On your as a bridge officer ability. Okay? So that was not what I wanted. There we go. Okay. So the same as having an energy siphon 2, but it can be 25% more effective when used on a Breen ship. Okay, it is affected by drain expertise, just like regular energy siphon. So it does give you, it's basically it can free up a bridge officer slot if you're looking to do a drain build. Okay, allow you to put something else there, allow you to put something that may heal, because you're going to have this extra drain ability here. And then of course the 4-piece set bonus is the eject cryoplasma. And so what this does, excuse me, it ejects a warp plasma cloud, 308.2 plasma damage, ignores shields every second, reduces the turn rate of your enemies to 90% or by 90%, reduces their impulse speed by 66%, and disables cloak. Okay? And to target 0 to 15 damage resistance rating based on target's current health. Okay? So this is actually quite a good thing. This is similar to eject warp plasma as the engineering ability. In fact, this is almost an exact copy paste of it. So by having the 3-piece and the 4-piece set, you get 2 clickables that you could easily replace 2 bridge officer abilities and put something else in there in their place, so that you can have a little extra healing, a little extra DPS, things like that, whatever you may need. Okay, so it does come in handy for that. With all of the EPS and the drain expertise, because it does have a little bit of drain expertise, it does come in handy for drain builds, or it can be useful for drain builds, and it is a pretty good set for that. Alright, so the TLDR version, too long didn't read version, is that you have to be level 45 to get this. The episodes to get it come from the Breen story arc. It has 4 pieces, pretty good for drain, and you get a lot of EPS and drain expertise from it. Alright, so this has been Teacher Kirby. Hello. Couldn't get my brain to work there for a second. This is Teacher Kirby signing off. You can hear the discussion of Teacher's Corner live on the Pilot Review Show every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I look forward to seeing you there.